Am I the asshole for trying to stop someone getting a house? My mum has had the same neighbors for 50 years. Her next-door neighbor was in a government-subsidized home. The lady has now moved to a long-term assisted living facility, so her house is vacant. One of our other neighbors has a daughter married with a few kids. They want the now vacant home as she would be directly opposite her mother and the house has a garden for the children. They asked us if we would sign a petition to convince the government to house them there. This is where the problem is. Our neighbors are wonderful people. So is their daughter and grandchildren, but the son-in-law is a thug. He has tried to intimidate my extended family over a public parking space which he has claimed is his own. Screaming obscenities at us, revving his car like he will mow us down, and using his sheer size to stand over us to intimidate us. My elderly mother is terrified of him, but because of how wonderful my neighbors are, she feels like she cannot refuse to sign this petition. She said she feels incredibly anxious about potentially living next door to this man. As it stands, she will not leave the house or car if he is there, as she is so afraid of him. And at the moment, he is just there occasionally. But if he is living next door, she feels like she will be trapped. Yes, I wanted to report him to the police, and to the housing agency, but my mum didn't want to make him angrier, so she wouldn't allow me. Would I be the asshole if I reported him to the housing agency anyway? I do not want my elderly mother to feel afraid entering and leaving her own home for maybe the amount of time she has left on this planet. Report him to the housing agency. Your mom should be able to go about her business with no fear. Not the asshole. Your mum is so intimidated by this guy that she's willing to sign a petition about letting him move in because she's afraid of his anger. That's tragically horrible. Report his behavior. Do everyone in the neighborhood a favor and let the housing agency know that this person will bully all the neighbors. Go ahead and report him. Your mother should not be a prisoner in her own home. You would not be stopping him from getting the house. He will be that person, because what goes around, comes around. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but do everything you can to protect your mom. Get cameras and all other evidence of his behavior, such as recording phone calls if he calls or saving texts, emails if he starts texting threats. You have to get a step ahead of this. Nata, report him. Not the asshole, definitely report him. If you're intimidating enough, feel bold enough, make it known that you don't like him to take the heat off your mom. Report him. People who purposely intimidate old ladies should get reported. And that means it wouldn't be you who stops them from getting a house, it would be him. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Also, get cameras or similar. Weird about the petition thing, never heard of people getting leeway with the council housing association like this. Lists waiting times vary from council to council. I had slight leeway in that I was in supported living accommodation, and when put onto the housing register, they agreed I could be slightly picky about where I bid for places in South Norfolk and not just anywhere, in order to have support system nearby public transport, as in, not taking longer than an hour by car to other side of the city, more than 3 buses. Not the asshole. TBH, I don't think a petition isn't going to make any difference. There's a housing crisis and people with greater housing needs other than wanting to live across from her mum and a garden for her kids. A garden isn't viewed as a necessity either. Especially with the speed they turn these houses round sometimes, by the time her petition goes through to the right person, the house may already be let. Not the asshole. Actions meet consequences. Whether this makes you an irrelevant. Your mom should be your first priority. Report him. Not the asshole. Report him. If you don't, and by some miracle they don't end up next to your mother, he will still abuse whoever is unfortunate enough to end up beside them. I am also guessing if they got in and he does intimidate the neighbors, he can ruin any chances for her to get housing in the like that tend to either end up in jail or moving on to the next woman once they ruin everything for the current woman. Not the asshole, but you need to not take any advice from this sub. They lack life experience and think justice happens just like in the movie. If you report him, you better make sure it sticks and he stays away. You really can't guarantee that is the issue. He's going to end up doubling down and making your mom's life hell if and when he finds out you reported him. Nobody here cares about the consequences, that's why they're all telling you to report blindly. Not the asshole, but please do everything you can to protect your mom. I was in a similar situation once, except the guy ended up living in the flat directly under my parents' house. It was terrifying. Report him. Get cameras, a Ring doorbell, anything and everything. Your mum deserves to feel safe and secure in her home. Not the asshole, don't sign. For the reasons you have said. Why increase your mum's fears? In other words, they are trying to jump the queue for housing. I think you are stressing unnecessarily, as these people will have no chance of moving in next to your mum. People applying for public housing are deluding themselves if they think they can somehow jump to the head of the queue or game the system through a petition. Good luck to your mum, and make sure she has her local house's office on speed dial along with the local police station front desk. No, you are not the asshole. Absolutely not the asshole. I feel bad saying that, because if I had the chance to live across the street from my mom, I'd jump for joy. But my BF is also sweet and kind 100 of the time, so there's a big difference. Do not sacrifice your mom's comfort and safety to make others feel good. It's okay to keep her safe even if that means making others' dreams die. Dude needs a wake-up call, because it's not okay to treat others like this, especially over a public parking space. Not the asshole. Report him. The neighbors are not nice if they let that monster intimidate an elderly woman. Sheesh, they are not good neighbors. Government isn't going to allow a family to move in based on a petition. They have long lists of people waiting for years for a house. They will move someone that has been waiting on the list or relocate someone already in one of their houses. Absolutely not. I am a recovering addict that used to run the streets. So I have an idea of what this guy is all about. And from my experience, it won't end well. People like that think that they can do whatever they want. No. Not the asshole. Do it. Your mother likes her elderly neighbors, but would suffer with the acts of Sil. Maybe you can pretend that the other neighbors have problems too. Cool face. Why do they need you to sign off on this? Wouldn't social housing be waitlist based? See if he has any police reports on him for previous behavior. If so, it will help your case for not having him there. Not the asshole. Can you report with leaving your name? Not the asshole. If he is that much of a problem, write them an email or set up a private meeting. Not the asshole. If this gentleman has acted this way toward your mother, he likely acts this way to others in the neighborhood and is potentially a danger. Go ahead and report him, and let the chips fall where they may. Not the asshole. Report him and don't tell your mom. She doesn't need to know, she needs to be safe though. And report that they have been bullying to get the petition through. Not the asshole. She can easily say she cares a lot about housing security and would be going against her beliefs signing a petition to remove such a place. Not the asshole. Do it. Report the asshole. Having lived my childhood next to an asshole who took every opportunity to intimidate my mother because she told the truth about his insurance scam, placating this asshole will never end well. There will be pain regardless. The question is whether you want it occasionally or every day. If you don't take ownership and manage this, it will lead your mom to an early grave. Do whatever you need to do to stop him. Not the asshole. But if I had to guess, it's also possible that the wife wants to be close to her family for safety. If he's this abusive with strangers, I wouldn't be shocked if he's worse to her. What will you report him for? For being an asshole? That's not illegal. I'd focus more on calming mom down and explaining to her she is perfectly safe to leave her house if this guy does move in. The government does nothing with petitions, so let her sign it to keep the peace. The government will wipe its behind with it, will follow the waiting list, and others will move in. I focus on your mom. Nah.